Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to explore a really radical new way of thinking about your mind. And I mean, forget all the stuff about software or abstract ideas for a second. We're talking about the literal, physical architecture of your consciousness.
I mean, think about this for a second, right? You've definitely experienced this. Why does a brilliant idea flash through your mind and then, poof, it's gone in seconds? But a bad mood? That can cling to you for hours. And your core beliefs, the stuff you know deep down, that can last a whole lifetime. So what gives? What if the answer isn't psychological? What if it's actually physical?
Well, that's exactly where this new idea, the Brain Kinematics Model, comes into play. It's a pretty wild theory, and it suggests that our mind isn't like a computer at all. Instead, it's more like a physical substance. Imagine something with different layers of viscosity or stickiness, and it's that very physical property that could explain why our mental states last for different amounts of time.
So, this model breaks our mind down into three amazing, interconnected layers. You've got the fast-moving river of thought, then there's the much slower ocean of emotion, and finally, the solid bedrock of our memory and who we are. Let's dive into each one and see how this all works.
All right, so first up, we have layer one, the fluent flows. Think of this as the fastest, most nimble layer of your mind. This is where all your moment-to-moment thinking happens. Your active reasoning, your perceptions. It's basically that constant chatter in your head, always moving, always changing, just like a river.
And what's so cool is that we can actually see the speed of this layer in our brainwaves. We're talking about the super fast gamma and beta waves. I mean, these things oscillate dozens of times per second. They're the electrical signature of this river of thought. We're talking about processes that last for just a few milliseconds. It's incredibly quick. So the key characteristics here are pretty clear: speed and flexibility. Information gets broken down and put back together in a flash. And that's what lets us reason and process the world in real time. But, just like a fast-moving river, these thoughts are here one moment and gone the next. They're fleeting.
Okay, so let's go a little deeper. Beneath that rapid river of thought, we find layer two, the jelly continuum. Now, this is a whole different beast. It's a semi-fluid, much slower layer. And according to this model, it's the physical reason why our moods, feelings, and beliefs can feel so sticky and hard to shake off. And again, you can see this in the brainwaves. The waves in this layer, alpha and theta, are way slower. They're the ones that correspond to states like relaxation, or when you're recalling a memory or processing an emotion. Their duration isn't just a few milliseconds anymore. We're talking hundreds of milliseconds, a totally different timescale. So think of this layer like a slow-moving gel. It's where emotional energy gets stored when it can't be processed super quickly. And this creates what the model calls emotional inertia. It's why moods linger, right? It's the home of our gut feelings, our intuitions, and those beliefs that we feel are true but haven't quite hardened into facts yet. And that brings us to the final layer, the deepest and most stable part of our mind, the solid lattice. This is it. This is the very foundation of who you are. It's the bedrock that holds all your consolidated long-term memories and your core identity. And just look at the timescales here. It's mind-blowing. The brain waves associated with this layer, delta waves and slow cortical potentials, are incredibly slow. We're not talking milliseconds anymore. Their cycles can last for seconds, even minutes. These are the deep, powerful rhythms that lock our experiences into permanent structures, especially when we're in deep sleep. So this layer is the quasi-permanent structure of your mind. It's built to resist change. It provides that stable framework that anchors everything: your personality, your deepest habits, and the solid, concrete knowledge you have about the world. This is the stuff that sticks with you for your entire life. Okay, so we have this incredible structure, right? A fast river of thought, a slow-moving gel of emotion, and a solid bedrock of identity. The big question is, how on earth did these three things talk to each other? How do they create one seamless, unified consciousness? How does a fleeting thought from the river eventually harden into a core memory in the bedrock? The answer, it turns out, is a really elegant mechanism called cross-frequency coupling, and it's a beautiful idea. It's where different brainwaves literally nest inside each other. So picture a huge slow wave from that jelly layer, right? Now imagine smaller, faster ripples from the fluent layer, the thought layer, riding on top of that big wave. The big, slow wave actually guides and shapes the energy of all those little fast ones. The source material puts it perfectly, actually. It calls this coupling the mechanical bridge uniting fast cognitive deformation and slow emotional equilibrium. In other words, it's the physical link that connects our fast thoughts with our slow feelings. It's literally the bridge between thinking and feeling.
And this communication creates this constant dynamic cycle in our minds. The fast waves from the river of thought, they're constantly breaking down our daily experiences into tiny little fragments of information. Then, the slow, powerful waves from the deeper layers come in and reassemble those fragments, weaving them together into the meaningful tapestry of our memories, our beliefs, and our very identity. It's happening all the time. So what you end up with is this complete temporal hierarchy of the mind. You've got your high-frequency thoughts, perception, and reasoning happening in that fluent flow. Those resonate within the medium-frequency jelly layer of emotion and belief. And all of that is anchored in the super low-frequency solid lattice of your consolidated self. It's all nested together. Okay, so this is a really fascinating model, right? But so what? Why does this matter to you? How can understanding this physical architecture of your mind actually change how you see yourself and your experiences? Well, for one, it explains why you can't just think your way out of a bad mood. Your thoughts are in that fast river, but your mood is stuck in the slow, sticky gel underneath. Trying to change one with the other is like trying to stop a glacier by throwing pebbles at it. It also shows how those fleeting thoughts, if you have them over and over, can slowly seep down and crystallize into core beliefs. It tells us that emotions aren't just abstract ideas, they have a real, physical inertia. And maybe most importantly, it offers a whole new way to understand the continuity of your identity, why you feel like the same person day after day. So this whole model leaves us with a pretty big, provocative question to chew on. If your consciousness, your very sense of self, is built on these physical layers of time, from the fleeting instant to the enduring lifetime, what does that truly say about who you are?